Listen to me very carefully, Chosen One, because what I'm about to tell you is going to make your blood run cold and your spirit soar at the exact same time. Right now, at this very moment, there are 5 different forces of destruction converging on your enemy, like a perfect storm, and when I reveal what the 5th one is, you're going to understand why they haven't been able to eat or sleep properly in weeks. The universe has already begun moving pieces into position for their destruction. The first domino has fallen, Chosen One, and the chain reaction cannot be stopped. While you went about your day completely unaware of the magnitude of what was unfolding, something catastrophic happened to them behind closed doors, something that changed everything. I'm going to tell you exactly what it was, but you need to understand the full scope of what's unfolding first. Because this isn't just about one person getting their comeuppance. This is about a complete restructuring of power that's been orchestrated by forces beyond human comprehension. Right now, there's someone sitting across from your enemy in what they think is a friendly conversation. Someone they trust completely, someone they've confided their darkest secrets to, someone who's been their closest ally in every scheme they've ever hatched. But here's the devastating truth that's about to destroy them. This person has been documenting everything, every confession, every plan, every moment they revealed their true nature, every detail of how they systematically dismantled your life for their own amusement. It's all been captured, stored, and prepared for the moment when it will do maximum damage. Your enemy has been spilling their guts to someone who's been building the case that will end them. Rien long console. Mon verdroxau de the fatage your dad. One twas to veal toffen beitu fetiken abate, de vicentum baitus taj. It's about me confustiu, mintuvis tazas prentiblit of timi. It's a veal baitu de fatage. It's a veal baitu fetikoffen baitu setikoft if you pound. Want to veal baitu fetikoff the pound a baitu fetikoffen baitus. Divio baitu fetikoffen baitus. Divio baitu fetikoffen baitu fetikoffen baitus. Moments where your enemy laughed about the pain they caused you. Instances where they described their manipulation tactics with the pride of a master craftsman. Confessions where they admitted to destroying innocent people simply because they could. The recordings aren't just audio, there are videos, screenshots of messages, photographs of documents. This person has been methodically building an archive that reads like a manual for psychological warfare. Every technique your enemy used against you has been documented with timestamps and context. The pattern is so clear, so undeniably systematic, that even their most loyal supporters will have to admit they were fooled by a master manipulator, but that's just the beginning of their nightmare. Something else is happening simultaneously in a realm they thought they controlled completely, their finances. That smug confidence they displayed about their financial security, that arrogance about their guaranteed income streams, all of it is crumbling as we speak. Their investments aren't just failing, they're about to expose them for crimes that carry serious prison time. The investigators aren't just looking at recent transactions, they've gone back years following every dollar that flowed through accounts your enemy thought were untraceable. What they're finding is a web of embezzlement, so elaborate, so carefully constructed, that it reveals a criminal mind operating at the highest levels of deception. Money that was supposed to help victims of their abuse, diverted to their personal accounts. Funds designated for charity, filtered through shell companies they control. Tax obligations, evaded through a network of offshore holdings that violate multiple federal laws. The forensic accountants have found evidence of financial crimes that span decades, each one meticulously documented with digital paper trails that lead directly back to your enemy. Here's what's going to make you smile with cosmic satisfaction. They actually bragged about these financial schemes to the same person who's been recording everything else. They thought they were showing off their cleverness to a trusted friend, but they were actually confessing to federal crimes on tape. The recordings don't just prove they're a psychological predator, they prove they're a financial criminal whose schemes have robbed countless victims of resources they desperately needed. And here's something that's going to make you understand the true scope of divine justice. They're about to lose the one person whose love meant everything to them. Their golden child, the one whose admiration fed their ego, the one they thought would never question their version of reality, that person is about to stumble across evidence so damning, so undeniably horrific, that their entire relationship will shatter in an instant. This isn't going to be a gradual awakening or a slow loss of faith. This is going to be a sudden, explosive moment of clarity that happens when the golden child accidentally discovers something they were never meant to see. A document left open on a computer screen, a recording that plays automatically, a conversation they overhear from the next room, something that reveals the true extent of what was done to you and others like you. But here's the beautiful twist that's going to accelerate their destruction. This golden child has been keeping detailed notes all along. Every strange excuse, every inconsistent story, every moment when something felt off, it's all been recorded with dates and specifics. What started as innocent observations about someone they loved has become a detailed timeline of red flags that they didn't understand until now. When the truth hits them, the betrayal they feel is going to be so complete, so devastating, that they won't suffer in silence. They're going to provide testimony that validates everything you've been saying, but more than that, they're going to reveal the private face your enemy never wanted anyone to see. The cruelty behind closed doors, the callous indifference to human suffering, the enjoyment they derived from causing pain. This golden child isn't just going to withdraw their support, they're going to become your most powerful ally in exposing the truth. Someone who lived inside your enemy's world, who saw how they really operated when they thought no one was watching, who can testify to the calculated nature of their abuse with the credibility of someone who once believed in them completely. Meanwhile, in another sphere entirely, someone you've never met has been watching this situation unfold with growing concern, someone with real authority, the kind of institutional power that can end careers with a single decision. They've been quietly investigating, gathering testimonies, building a case that goes far beyond your individual experience. This authority figure isn't working alone. They have a team of specialists who understand predatory behavior patterns, psychologists who can identify systematic abuse, legal experts who know how to prosecute complex cases involving psychological manipulation, investigators who specialize in tracking down victims who've been silenced through fear and intimidation. They've now spoken with 7 other victims, 7 people who suffered under the same pattern of abuse you endured. 7 people whose stories align so perfectly with yours that there's no possible way to dismiss them as coincidence or misunderstanding. 7 people who've been waiting years for someone in power to finally take their pain seriously. But it doesn't stop at 7. Each victim they interviewed led them to others. The network of destruction your enemy created is far more extensive than anyone imagined. They've identified at least 15 people who suffered significant psychological damage, and each story follows the same blueprint: isolation, gaslighting, systematic destruction of self-worth, followed by discarding when the victim was no longer useful. The pattern is undeniable. The methodology is consistent. The psychological damage is measurable and documented by licensed professionals. What happened to you wasn't personal. It was systematic predation operating with the efficiency of a well-oiled machine. This authority figure has also discovered something that's going to make the criminal charges even more serious. Your enemy kept trophies, digital files containing photos, recordings, and documents related to each victim they destroyed. Not just evidence of their crimes, but souvenirs they collected to remember their conquests, evidence that proves they derived pleasure from the suffering they caused and wanted to be able to relive it whenever they chose. But I still haven't told you about the 2 developments that are going to completely obliterate any chance they have of escaping consequences. The first involves someone from their inner circle, someone who's witnessed their private moments when the mask comes off completely. This person has been living with tremendous guilt about enabling abuse, watching innocent people get destroyed while remaining silent. They've reached their breaking point. The weight of complicity has become unbearable, and they've decided to purge their conscience by revealing everything they've seen and heard. This insider isn't just going to provide testimony, they're going to reveal the entire infrastructure your enemy built to facilitate their abuse, the network of enablers who helped them isolate victims, the system of rewards and punishments they used to keep allies loyal, the way they compartmentalized information so no one person knew the full scope of their operations. This person has been present for conversations where your enemy discussed their victims like hunting trophies. They've witnessed the planning sessions where strategies were developed to break specific individuals. They've seen the celebration that followed successful destructions of human lives. They can testify not just to what your enemy did, but to the mindset behind it, the cold calculation, the complete lack of empathy, the genuine enjoyment of causing suffering. And this insider has been saving evidence for years, not because they planned to expose it, but because something deep inside them knew they were witnessing something historically evil. Photos of documents, screenshots of messages, audio recordings made secretly when they started to understand what they were really dealing with. A comprehensive archive that proves this wasn't just bad behavior, but calculated psychological terrorism. The insider can also reveal the selection process your enemy used to choose victims, the specific vulnerabilities they looked for, the grooming techniques they employed to gain trust, the manipulation tactics they used to isolate targets from support systems, the systematic way they destroyed each person's sense of reality until they questioned their own perceptions. Now, are you ready for the fifth and final force that's about to bring them to their knees? Because this one explains why they've been displaying signs of absolute terror lately, why they jump at shadows, why they can barely maintain composure in public. There's someone hunting them who they don't even know exists, someone with unlimited resources, professional investigative skills, and a network of contacts that spans multiple industries and government agencies. This person doesn't just want accountability, they want complete and total annihilation of everything your enemy has built. This hunter isn't working alone either. They're part of an organization that specializes in taking down predators exactly like your enemy. They've done it before, multiple times, with surgical precision and devastating effectiveness. They know how to dismantle careers, destroy reputations, expose hidden assets, and ensure their targets never recover or rebuild anywhere. Their methods are legendary in certain circles. They don't just gather evidence, they orchestrate exposure campaigns that guarantee maximum damage and minimum escape routes. They have contacts in media, law enforcement, regulatory agencies, and professional licensing boards. When they decide to destroy someone, that person doesn't just lose their current position, they become permanently unemployable in any field that requires public trust. Here's the cosmic joke that's going to make you laugh until you cry. Your enemy put themselves in this organization's crosshairs through their own arrogance. They bragged about what they did to you to someone at exactly the wrong moment, and that conversation found its way to someone who's made it their life's mission to end careers like theirs. This hunter has been tracking your enemy for months, building a case so comprehensive that it makes the other investigations look like rough drafts. They've identified every victim, documented every scheme, traced every financial crime, and catalogued every piece of evidence. They know about the recordings, the financial fraud, the pattern of abuse, the insider ready to confess, and the golden child about to defect. They've been coordinating with all the other forces closing in, ensuring that when everything goes public, it happens simultaneously from multiple directions. No escape routes, no time to spin the narrative, no opportunity to disappear or reinvent themselves somewhere else. Total exposure followed by complete destruction. All five forces are reaching critical mass simultaneously, the insider preparing to confess, the financial investigation concluding, the golden child about to defect, the authority figure ready to act, the hunter preparing to strike, and your enemy can feel the walls closing in from every direction. That's why their behavior has become so erratic lately, why they're lashing out at everyone around them, why they're making desperate moves that only dig their grave deeper, why they've been trying to manipulate situations with increasingly obvious and clumsy tactics. They can sense impending doom, even if they can't identify the exact source of the threat. Their subconscious mind knows what their ego refuses to accept. They're finished. The game is over. The reckoning they've avoided for years is finally at hand. Every defense they built is crumbling. Every ally they counted on is turning against them. Every secret they thought was buried is surfacing into the light. Meanwhile, something miraculous is happening in your life. Every door they tried to seal shut is bursting open. Every relationship they tried to poison is healing stronger than before. Every opportunity they blocked is manifesting in ways that exceed your original hopes. Every dream they tried to kill is resurging with unstoppable force. The universe isn't just undoing their sabotage, it's turning their interference into rocket fuel for your ascension. Their attempts to destroy you have actually been preparing you for the position you're about to inherit when they fall. Every attack they launched was actually forging you into something unbreakable. Every wound they inflicted was actually carving space in your soul for greater wisdom and compassion. Because that's what's really happening here, Chosen One. This isn't just about justice, this is about succession. You're not just going to witness their downfall, you're being prepared to occupy the space they're about to vacate. Their influence, their connections, their platform, their resources, it's all being transferred to someone who will use power responsibly. The universe has been orchestrating this transfer with precision that would make master strategists weep with admiration. Every move your enemy made in their arrogance has been anticipated and countered. Every trap they set has become their own snare. Every weapon they tried to use against you has been turned against them. They've been playing checkers while the cosmos has been playing multi-dimensional chess. The financial collapse is accelerating beyond their ability to control or conceal. Those investigators have found evidence of embezzlement, tax evasion, money laundering and fraud that violates multiple federal laws. The paper trail leads directly to accounts in their name, transactions they authorized, decisions they made. There's no escape route because they left fingerprints on everything, but the financial crimes are just the tip of the iceberg. The investigators have also uncovered evidence of witness intimidation, obstruction of justice, and conspiracy to commit fraud involving multiple co-conspirators. Your enemy didn't just steal money, they orchestrated a criminal enterprise that victimized dozens of innocent people while enriching themselves and their accomplices. Now I want to take a moment to tell you about a few individuals that shouldn't exist. A trained occultist who escaped from a satanic coven, a former Black Ops drone pilot who flew swarms with his mind, a multi-millionaire psychic CFO who predicted market shifts before they happened. What do these remarkable individuals have in common? You'll find them all in the Obsidian Inner Order, where they share their forbidden knowledge on our private Discord server. My chosen soul has drunk deep from the well of knowledge, ion after ion. In this incarnation, these extraordinary individuals became my allies in the Obsidian Inner Order. They recognized the call, they stepped forward, they connected with others who understand their unique gifts and burdens. What is stopping you from manifesting the same? The synchronicities that brought them here weren't accidents. Neither is your discovery of this message. When souls of this caliber gather, the Archons take notice. They fear our collective power. They know what happens when the truly awakened find each other. Join our weekly calls, hear their stories firsthand, share your own journey with those who won't dismiss or doubt you. The knowledge exchanged in our private channels cannot be found anywhere else on this plane. Click the link in the description below now. The extraordinary souls await your arrival. The question isn't whether you belong among them. The question is, how much longer will you wait to claim your place? The ally with all the recordings? They're about to go public with a media campaign that will make international headlines, not just with your story, but with a compilation that reveals a pattern spanning decades. Conversations where your enemy admitted to enjoying the suffering they caused, moments where they laughed about driving people to complete psychological breakdown, evidence of premeditation that will shock even seasoned investigators who thought they'd seen everything. These recordings don't just prove abuse, they reveal a mind so fundamentally twisted, so completely devoid of empathy, that listening to them will traumatize even hardened professionals. Your enemy's own words will become the evidence that destroys them, spoken in their own voice with their own inflections, leaving no room for denial or alternative interpretation. The authority figure has completed their investigation and coordinated with multiple agencies to ensure simultaneous action across all relevant jurisdictions. Professional licensing boards are prepared to revoke certifications. Law enforcement agencies are ready to file criminal charges. Regulatory bodies are prepared to impose sanctions. Civil courts are ready to hear lawsuits from victims seeking damages. The testimonies they've gathered aren't just consistent, they're devastatingly detailed. Each victim can describe specific techniques your enemy used, specific phrases they repeated, specific stages of the abuse cycle they employed. The pattern is so clear, so obviously systematic, that it proves beyond reasonable doubt that this was calculated predation, not personality conflicts or misunderstandings. The golden child's world is about to shatter when they discover evidence that their beloved mentor is actually a monster who systematically destroys innocent people for entertainment. But the betrayal they're about to feel will fuel more than just testimony. It will inspire them to become a crusader for justice, someone who dedicates their considerable talents and resources to ensuring that other predators can never operate with the same impunity. This golden child has influence, connections and credibility that will amplify the impact of their defection exponentially. When someone of their stature comes forward to validate the victim's stories, it will trigger an avalanche of additional testimonies from people who were afraid to speak up before. The floodgates will open, and decades of hidden abuse will pour into the light. The insider is preparing to release everything they've documented over years of enabling abuse. Photos showing your enemy's private celebrations after destroying someone, recordings capturing their detailed discussions of manipulation strategies, documents revealing the systematic way they selected and groomed victims. But this insider isn't just providing evidence, they're also revealing the names of other enablers, other conspirators, other people who helped facilitate the abuse while maintaining plausible deniability. The exposure won't stop with your enemy. It will unravel an entire network of complicity that allowed predatory behavior to flourish unchecked for years. The hunter is putting finishing touches on an exposé so comprehensive, so meticulously researched, so devastatingly complete that when it goes public, your enemy won't just lose their current position, they'll become the textbook example of institutional predation that future investigators study to understand how such monsters operate. This exposé doesn't just document what your enemy did, it reveals how they were able to do it, the systemic failures that enabled their behavior, the institutional blind spots that allowed them to operate undetected, the cultural factors that silenced victims and protected predators. It's not just a takedown of one individual, it's a comprehensive analysis that will force entire industries to confront their complicity in enabling abuse. All of these forces are about to converge in perfect synchronization, creating a cascade of destruction that will leave your enemy with nothing except the bitter knowledge that they created their own downfall by targeting someone the universe had marked for protection and elevation. But here's what I really need you to understand. This cosmic rearrangement isn't just about them getting what they deserve. This is about you stepping into who you were always meant to become. The person you're evolving into through this trial is so far beyond who they tried to destroy that they wouldn't even recognize the magnificent being you've become. You're not just surviving their assault, you're being transformed by it into someone capable of wielding the very power they're about to lose. Every challenge they threw at you was actually training for this moment. Every attempt to break your spirit was actually strengthening your resolve. Every effort to isolate you was actually teaching you to trust your own inner guidance above all external voices. When you rise to occupy the position they're vacating, when you inherit the influence they're forfeiting, when you step into the authority they're about to lose, you're going to use it to heal instead of harm, to build instead of destroy, to protect the innocent instead of preying upon them. The transformation isn't just personal, it's cosmic. Your victory will inspire other chosen ones who've been fighting similar battles in different arenas. The precedent you set by refusing to accept their false authority will give others permission to do the same in their own situations. The collective awakening that your individual journey catalyzes will reach critical mass across multiple spheres of influence. Trons of Blatch, your enemy can see this future even if they can't admit it to themselves. They can see themselves falling as you rise. They can see their legacy being erased and replaced with something beautiful. They can see the cosmic correction that's about to install the right person in a position they corrupted through their greed and malice. That's why they're consumed with terror, chosen one. That's why they can't sleep, can't eat, can't think clearly anymore. On some level deeper than conscious thought, they know their time is up. They know their game is over. They know their empire of lies is about to become a monument to their own folly. The convergence is imminent. The reckoning is at hand. The transfer of power is already in motion. Justice isn't coming, justice is here, manifesting through multiple channels simultaneously, ensuring that this time there will be no escape, no second chances, no opportunity to disappear and rebuild somewhere else. And you, radiant, resilient, unstoppable, you are about to inherit everything they're losing and transform it into something that serves the highest good. Your liberation isn't just beginning here, your coronation is beginning here. Your true mission can finally commence, unobstructed by their interference, supported by the full power of cosmic justice. But here's the final twist that brings this cosmic drama full circle. Remember those cosmic forces I mentioned at the beginning, how they were moving pieces into position while you remained unaware. Now you know what that catastrophic event was. It was the exact moment when their most trusted ally made the decision to record everything. That first domino falling wasn't just the beginning of their destruction, it was the universe confirming that your vindication had officially begun. Every sleepless night you endured while they slept peacefully in their arrogance has been reversed. Now you rest in the serenity of someone whose truth is about to be validated on every level, while they pace the floors in terror, jumping at every sound, checking their phone obsessively for signs of the destruction they can feel approaching but can't yet see. The beautiful symmetry of cosmic justice is that they will experience every emotion they put you through, but amplified. The paranoia they accused you of having, now it's their constant companion. The isolation they engineered for you, now it's their reality as allies abandon them. The powerlessness they made you feel, now it's all they know as forces beyond their control dismantle everything they built. Their begging will echo the very desperation they once mocked in you. Their tears will flow as freely as the ones they caused you to shed. Their pleas for mercy will fall on the same deaf ears they turned toward your suffering. The wheel of fortune has completed its rotation, and the person who was cast down is rising while the one who cast them down is falling. This isn't just your personal victory, chosen one. This is the universe correcting a fundamental imbalance that threatened the very fabric of justice itself. Your triumph becomes the template for how divine order reasserts itself when evil overreaches. Your story becomes the proof that no matter how powerful predators appear, no matter how untouchable they seem, the cosmic scales always balance in the end. Your intuition was right all along. Every warning bell that rang in your spirit, every red flag you questioned, every moment you thought you might be overreacting, you weren't. You were receiving downloads from the universe, preparing you for this moment of ultimate vindication. Trust that inner voice forever, now because it just led you through the greatest victory of your lifetime. The war is over, chosen one. You won, they lost, and now the real adventure begins.